Hey everyone, and welcome to another Jurassic World Evolution 2 video. Today we are going to have a look into the dev diary that just has been released yesterday. I know you potentially have seen that on other channels as well, but today we are going to have like a little quick overview of what they talked about. We're going to talk about new images that we have seen. We talk about new species that have been unveiled. We talk about some very cool things for us creative players. And just to, sum it all up together, I'm giving you all the information. I'm not going to play the audio from this clip, so if you want to listen to what they say, I highly recommend clicking the link in the description down below, because that will guide you right towards this dev diary. It's 5 minutes and 39, and I think you can actually watch that and get all the information that they are talking about. But I want to give you a little bit of extra information, going a little bit further into what we see and what this means, the implications behind that, because everything else is something you can see yourself. So we're trying to go a little bit beyond the obvious. So let's play a little bit ahead. First of all, Rich is going to introduce himself. He's brilliant, by the way. Met him a couple of times, and I'm really missing, the chance to meet him in real life. And also the team behind this is just absolutely amazing. I'm just playing a little bit here, so to stop before the cut appears. So this is the view we have at the beginning, and this is also very similar to what we see at the very beginning launch trailer. So this is kind of the same environment. This looks to be like the more northern Canadian or like North American map, which has already a lot of snowy peaks in the background, and we can definitely see some animals that we were quite aware of that they will be in, but we can see them over here as it looks to be the brachiosaurus. We can see the Edmontosaurus down here, if I'm not completely wrong. They're roaming around in a big shared habitat, which we are going to talk about a lot more. Shared habitats is a big element of this game. For those of you who don't know, there will be a new system in which is called territory. So within one habitat, within one enclosed habitat, animals can have their own dedicated territory, and within that territory you must ensure that they have all their specifically designed needs fulfilled. So let's say the different plants and so on. So sometimes you have a bit more foresty area, just as like over here in the middle of the screen right now, which potentially is something for the brachiosaurus, and then you have a bit more of a coastal area for the Edmontosaurus, for example, and potentially sometimes they can cross territories. Some species don't mind that, some other species really do mind that, and then they actually fight for territories. The winner takes it all, just as it is, and the loser will have to search for a new environment and a new territory, which will cause you to rethink what you've done with the habitat, because that means you have to realign some of the plants, some of the stuff as well. And also one additional thing we are going to talk about right now, because there's nothing else in this video which actually gives you a hint to that. There won't be any herbivore feeders anymore in this game. This time we will have the Polyobotany, I forgot how that's called. Basically you have some extinct plants brought back to life, which will give them food. So yeah, if we move forward a little bit, actually we can just jump quickly back into this frame to talk about a couple of more things. So you can see all the facility buildings we know, but there are a couple of things I wanted to quickly point out. There's something over here on this left hand side which I can't really distinguish what that is, but this over here looks to be like a restroom. And yes, I know restrooms are not a big deal, but as far as I remember, we did not really have restrooms in Jurassic World Evolution, which was kind of a weird situation. So yeah, that's quite an interesting one. Anyways, let's go further a little bit to see who else is introduced into our team lead here. Let's just go forward a little bit so we can introduce Adam as the executive producer of this game. He's also talking about a couple of things that I already mentioned, and they said that they want to bring a more authentic experience. The animals will interact more with their environment, just as I said with the territories, but they will be available to interact with the botany around them. They will potentially also be able to eat from all of them. And if we follow up what we had in the Claire Deering DLC in Jurassic World Evolution 1, we might also need to consider which plant we put where, because some of them might be poisoning to others, and that's not the best idea. Yeah, we can see the Amorgosaurus here in front of us. A bit of a new animation is seen, nothing too fancy. And if we go further into the interview, we have a lot of more information that I already gave you, hearing them talk. And then the first thing we see over here are sandstorms. We already knew from forum posts and so on that there will be snowstorms, and people have been speculating that in other biomes we will have other different disasters and environmental disasters, and now they confirmed that we actually do have sandstorms as well in the desert, which is kind of nice to know, because that's definitely something which will challenge the people even more. And we will also be, curious to see if tornadoes and hurricanes will make it back into the game. So I'm not sure if they will. Haven't read anything. Maybe you guys know better than I do. But this is one beautiful look again towards this map, and there are a couple of things I want to point out here that for me personally are very important to figure out if that's new or what else this is. But first of all, the building style seems to be quite different from what we have seen on other maps. So I'm not sure if the different building types will be available on different maps, if it's just misleading because of the different shading of this map or because of other things. But you can see there are a couple of different vehicles we can see over here. This seems to be like the ranger vehicle, and then we have the veterinarian truck, which we already know that there is one. And this over here looks to be like a water tower of some sort, which in a deserty environment makes kind of sense. So maybe there will be a tiny bit of water management. They haven't been talking about that in this diary of all, but maybe this is kind of something like that, because as you can see, there is just a very spare bit of water over here. But one very important thing is, look at this aviary over here. This looks very close to, at least form factor wise, to the one we had in Jurassic World Evolution. However, it's a lot smaller. And now if we zoom back, 120 is the time where we've been, if we zoom back to the beginning, you can see there is a different type of aviaries. First of all, this aviary seems to be a lot more maybe researched or maybe evolved, because it already has some glass around it. Might be also just because of the heat regulation, because that's like that's a very cold environment in here. So maybe you'll need the glass as an optionary thing, an optional thing to make sure that you can contain the heat inside. Maybe you have them do some heat management then. And if we zoom back to 1:20 where we've just been, you can actually tell that this one has no glass tiles whatsoever in here. There are some viewing galleries or something attached and some sort of facility buildings. So that's going to be very interesting how that is utilized. But I think this is very, very much a good screenshot to look at, because this will give you the idea that these aviaries will be a lot more customizable than what we were used to. Now let's move on a little bit to the next bit. Jim Stimson also gave us some cool insights as well. Most of it I already told you. So keeping our eyes on this shot over here, this was the territory needs, but you can, I want to drag your attention already towards the stones and rocks to the sides, because there will be something later on in this video which is for us as simulation and kind of management game lovers, but absolutely passionate fans of creative games, something great, because there are some cool tools how we can play this. By the way, in another look here to the left hand side of the aviary with the glass, we have a look at the monorail, which seems to be quite a little bit of a different model. Seems a tiny bit more reduced in the optics, like a little bit further away from the Jurassic World styled monorail, but it still, looks kind of modern-esque anyways. We have a good look here at the gyrosphere, which again is a ride, we knew about that, and we see some animals sharing the habitat. I know it's that Diplo. I'm not really sure if that's a Diplo. So Diplo, I forgot how this is pronounced again, so I leave that. Some Stegos here, Triceratops is here, so they share this habitat most obviously, and this is what I all talked about in terms of the territory. So I don't want to talk too much about this. Going back into, and I'm just quickly going to play that so you see them in motion. This is another look at the aviary, and this is pretty neat over here. I just want to figure out if to the left hand side over here we have, and now my video for whatever reason stopped, to the left hand side, have a look on this one. I'm just gonna keep playing that. It almost looks like as if this dude is going to land on this tree. It looks almost like as if it's landing on this tree, as you can see, but it's just not. So I'm not really sure what exactly is happening there, but I'm really hoping that they can interact maybe also with the trees and not only with the dedicating seating spots, for example. But whatever, dedicated, by the way, my English is broken today. Now, also, this is what we meant about more interaction. Animals are fighting for territory, and it seems almost like there is a lot more interaction between those animals. Also, just a couple of information about this one. You can see that this seems to be the desert map, but with clear weather, so the color might not be the reason why these buildings did confuse me so much, so maybe they are different buildings actually. So let's move forward a little bit, which is kind of cool. We were talking about a lot more new animations, so pack hunting has been confirmed for quite a while already, so you can see our first look at the Velociraptor doing some fancy stuff over here. Oh my god, look at that jump. We're just going to go just very, oh my god, look at that one. Look at that one. This is special, and oh my god, it's gonna this is so good. Yeah, we've got some new animations. I think there will be also some recycled animations, of course, but just in general, this is going to be a lot more dynamic, as they say. There will be a lot more different. They just changed the system so that it looks a lot more fluid and integrated and not as staged as it sometimes was in Jurassic World Evolution 1, so I'm very curious to see that. Now, let's talk about real quick about the scientist. So the scientist is our new staff member, and staff members really weren't a thing in Jurassic World Evolution 1 at all. Now you have these staff members that you have to employ, and they do all kind of tasks for you. For example, they do actually do your research and incubation research and so on and so forth, which means if they are overworked and stressed, they might actually give you worse results, and also they do some sabotage. Actually, let's put it that way, the risk of sabotage does actually increase. I think that's how you put it better. I don't want to keep this too long on your focus, but what I really do like is to show you the skills. As you can see, they have different skill levels, and also their wages are obviously a lot more different. Also, cost per minute is quite high, so we're talking per minute. I also want to earn 1.1 thousand per minute, by the way. Can I be a scientist here? That would be a very good wage though, but whatever. And look at just what the initial recruitment cost. Oh my god, I need to be a scientist directly. Anyways, what you can see here is we have logistics as a treat, we have genetics, and we've got welfare. And I think the better it is, what I don't really get is why is it 3 out of 8 and then it's 1 out of 3? Is it maybe because of no, it's not really because of the level. I think we have to discuss that a little bit more, why. Or maybe this is like kind of points you can spend potentially, so they have maybe 3 points for logistics while 0 for genetics and 1 for welfare. I think that makes more sense, that these are the skills they have for the different traits of the animals, even though I have no idea why logistics were a thing. But anyways, I guess these are skill points that you can then spend on certain research things. And then you can see different traits. So this one seems to be motivated, increases stress limit by 4, which is good. That means you can keep her doing some more stuff. Sekelaga can do some more stuff. And others have like faster research, cheaper research, and altruistic salary, which means 50% salary, which is great, I guess. But yeah, well, if he can't do anything else, this is maybe not the best treat ever. And then you can also see, again, faster research and so on. I guess there was also, if I'm just quickly going back, you can see one to the right popping up has something with cheaper, I think that's like cheaper incubation. See, that's the little egg. And then you have like a little biography, which is also nice. I'm not sure if this gives anything as an addition. It's kind of a little personal touch, which I like, but you know. And then you can see we just hired this one, and now we have got 4 different scientists in here with the different points available, which I'm quite sure we can then spend on something. So a very cool system. We really have to see how that works. And as I said, they talked about the fact that we need to do some management. We have some slot upgrades as always, and you can see over here we have a storm defense we can add to our building. This is the staff building, by the way. We can add ranger team, we have team scheduling, task efficiency, advanced scanners, and advanced training. So quite a lot of things we can attach to this building. And whoops, if we go back a little bit, I think this is this building here in the focus, that this is the staff building, and has a staff limit of 3 at this point. So, you know, I guess there can be done something more in the future. I'm not really sure what exactly that is. But this is what I meant over here. These are the assigned scientists to what is your staff building, which seems to be staff is now kind of a general building for the scientists and everything else, and for the rangers and so on, basically for your staff. And maybe we are going to be introduced to a similar kind of, guy. Actually, no, these are all scientists, right? Because this dude over here almost looks like a ranger, Mr. McCarthy. And didn't we just hire 4? Let me just go back a little bit here. Look at that. These are 4 scientists. Wait a sec. Are these the same names? I just want to quickly see that. So we had... Oh, these were... Wait, no, Jill, Chung, Schofield, and Rushit. And this is... No, okay, it wasn't. Okay, I thought, okay, maybe this is like a hint that this could be potentially a ranger. Okay, it seems not to. And you can see there's a stress level over here. And if you would assign this dude or this dudette, this girl in this phase, to the station, then there is a higher risk of sabotage, for example. So yeah, you can see this is how do you assign them to the task, and very easy going on with that into the future. As you can see here, this is what I meant. Sabotage guest protest is going to start over here. Nice thing, by the way, that we have like guest protest, by the way, which is also very interesting. One thing I'm also really curious about is how it works with the terrain tools later on, because it seems almost like we can build very nicely with the terrain, but this is like a huge lake which seems to be integrated into the landscape. So I'm very curious to see if we can, you know, make land go out into here, if we can get some more land, or if we can just manipulate the existing one. That is very interesting indeed. And we have a little glimpse to what seems to be like a hotel facility here in the back, and they seem to be different sizes, so that's also very interesting. I really hope that they are somewhat modular as well, so you can create a bit more of a hotel district. That would be very neat as well. Now let's move forward a little bit to some more interesting stuff over here. This is all from the talk about mostly territory needs. You can see here, this is like the Thinchosaurus, the Stegosaurus, and this looks like the Diplodocus. I don't know. Or is this Brachio? I can't really figure out. Oh no, it's Brachio. So yeah, they live together, and so you can see one example of them moving into or like crossing their different territories, and they don't like each other in the territory, so they keep fighting until one wins and the other loses. So if we just, what is that, by the way, in the, there's kind of a little energy thing in here, which I can't really figure out what exactly that is. But yeah, so let's go further in. I don't want to keep you too long waiting for the next stuff, because now we get into the spicy bit. So first of all, this is our look at the nature tools, and this looks a lot like we are used from Prehistoric Kingdom now, and this looks a lot more like a brush that has a bit more control. So down here you can see that this brush now moves from 3 to 6 steps, which is giving us a lot more control. And holy heck, am I praying that the least radius option is basically single placement, just like in City Skyline. If that happens and we have so much control over that, and we can still go back to the brush if we are lazy and we want to put more down in one, I love it. You can see there are different categories down here. You can see this is forest, leaf, and fiber. Then we have fruit and nut, which seems to be like where they can actually eat from. So that's pretty nice. You can see there's water, there is surface paint, I guess. These are rocks, which we're going to talk about in a bit. And then we have got, this looks like carnivore feeders, just like, or maybe carnivore in general, or, you know, feeders and stuff. And then we have the terrain tools to alter the terrain. So you can see here, this is a very beautiful shot of the brush tool in action. And now going back to the tool, you can actually tell that they are using the second biggest option for this tool over here. I'm not sure if that's the same map, but you can see this size might be the second biggest one. I don't know, which would be good, because that means we have still a lot of control. And if they play this, wait, I'm just going to go back so you can see, there you go, they're brushing down basically these plants. Very nice, and I'm really happy that they took a similar approach to what Prehistoric Kingdom does, where you can select the different items you want to have in your brush. Seems to be very promising, and I'm a big fan of that. It seems to be improving the overall workflow quite a bit. And honestly, at this point, I'm starting to get mad that we don't have a brush tool in Planet Zoo. So I'm really hoping that in the future Planet game, we will have a brush tool as well, because that saves you a lot of time and makes things look just naturally more natural. That's what I want to say. Here's one look at the 4 new different types of guests. So as in each and individual management game, which, well, except Jurassic World Evolution, I guess, you have different types of guests. And now you do have different types of guests as well, which is the general, the adventure, the nature, and the luxury. You know, we don't need to go too much into it. You can see there is like, they have desires like dinosaur count, viewing, blah, blah, blah. Then we have the adventure, dinosaur, infamy, tours, lagoons, gyrospheres. It seems almost like that it's not down to the actual amount of people that have different treats, but it's almost like different treats to people, and then it's kind of the percentage of people having these desires and then merge that together, and then you have to kind of balance that to the different desires. I think it's a nice little layer of management that comes into play, but it's like, you know, not really that crazy new thing, so you're basically very used to it. Also, I love the fact that we have the, I think, is that the Albertosaurus in here in this? I think it is, right? Have we had a look at this one? And also, these two are also brand new ones. Well, this one at least is. This one, I'm not sure which exactly that one is, but this looks like a lot like the Albertosaurus. Anyways, let's go further a little bit and zoom in. This is one beautiful shot of Rexy in front of a viewing gallery, which is for the adventurous people, as you can technically and practically imagine. And there's like a fire extinguisher, very important. If you want to fight this one, use that one in case of emergency, which I guess you can define being hunted from a T-Rex is kind of an emergency. Now, this is another look at the modular system. By the way, there is another hotel building, which I guess is one of those we've just spotted. And then you can see there are different layouts and types for different buildings. So that's very nice as well. You can choose them, and then we've seen in some screenshots that there's also like a color wheel where you can pick the color and stuff. So that is really, really good as well, but nothing to go crazy about. But this is the bit. By the way, we have a lovely little Pachyosaurus in this shot. My god, look at that, guys. We don't only have a lot of different types of rocks, and this seems to be like desert. Potentially this is taiga, jungle, and tundra maybe coming in. But now this, guys, is a fully fledged Gizmo. I mean, can you imagine the freedom now that this offers to us? Can you just imagine how insane that is? I am more than happy to see that one, because I know Frontier, and I'm quite... Now let's put it the other way. I'm 99.9% sure that if they add a system like that for a rock, it won't be only for rocks. That means we can expect this tool, and this is for me the one information of that video. I didn't need more. This is the information of this video. For me, as a creative player, I'm quite sure they have added this ability to the rocks, and I'm quite sure to the decorations as well, and maybe even to some plants by hitting a toggle and going from the brush to the Gizmo mode. Who knows? But it almost seems also like that they don't have a dedicated hitbox down here to the left hand side, because this seems to be still well in the environment of some plants, and honestly, guys, this is all we needed. This is giving the flexibility that we needed to create some cool stuff. And you know what we do, we blend things together. You can make more natural habitats now. Hopefully they have a hitbox, by the way, but you know, other than that, oh boy, this is so good. And then over here you can see this is now the, well, let's just move quickly back. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to talk too much about it, but you know, we've got different ground textures, different sizes of the brush. Again, like, you know, no rocket science, nothing crazy to see here. Kind of a nice little bushes, glimpse of these bushes. I know that we have them in Planet Zoo as well. Was that kind of the red something bush? I forgot how that was called. Red thorn bush or something like that. Whatever. We've got some more packies. No, that's not a packy. That's a Styrocus. I forgot again. Oh my god, I need to learn the names again. Anyways, we go further a little bit and see the Velociraptor coming out of the hatchery, which looks as a kind of a nice little new design, a nice lovely new skin pattern, which I'm quite a fan of. Well, this color was very off right now. Why was it so off? Wait, let me play that again. There you go. Excuse me? Oh, I think. Oh no, wait. This is the skin. Oh yeah. They talked about the different skin models. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Yeah, it changed the skin model because we have different ones in here. Okay, that was my bad. Going further in, we have a lot more talk about various things. And this is the final shot, which seems to be like a wonderful ending shot. But hell, this tells us we do have nighttime in a map that also had daytime. So meaning we finally have a control over day and nighttime. It seems like on all maps, which previously was restricted to the maps. Did they open that up at the end? I forgot already. I think they did open that up day and night, didn't they? I'm not sure, but we know we had some, I think Isla Tacaños was nighttime, while Nubla was always daytime. Oh wait, no, in Sandbox we could change to nighttime as well, if we enable the day and night cycle. So that's nothing new, but it's just like a nice confirmation that we have it in the game now. And so that is it, guys, from this dev diary, and I hope they keep them coming. This was a very chunky one. I thought we make it quick and it's still 25 minutes in. Oh my god. I really hope you find this interesting and informative as well. I know I'm maybe not your #1 source for it right now because other people go nuts about this and I'm watching them as well to get all my information together. But I hope you like this curated information drop every now and then. And as we move closer to the game, guys, I will actually be more and more active with Jurassic World Evolution 2. I just don't have the time to follow it as closely as I would love to, just as a little hint. But in case you are interested on this bit more insight from the creative side of things and for the more Planet Zoo Sandbox player standpoint, make sure to subscribe for more if you want, and then we're gonna talk about the next bit very soon. And for now, have a good time, have a good evening and morning, or whatever time it is for you. Stay safe most of all, and then I talk to you in the next one. Thank you for the support and goodbye.